Hey everyone, this is Daniel. I'm just going to show you here quickly how you can create kind of like your custom usage input actions on GameCreator 2. I actually found this fascinating. I created this crouch input usage, just crouch. I didn't change the icon or anything like that, but I thought it was fascinating how you can create your own custom buttons that are mapped to whatever you want on your game using kind of like the code that already comes with GameCreator. Now, the way that I accomplish this crouch button, the button itself doesn't do anything. All it really does is let me just show you here. It just takes either the east button on the on a PlayStation, or kind of like the circle on a PlayStation, or I don't have an Xbox controller, but I'm gonna guess it's the letter A or B on an Xbox, or the left control on the keyboard to action that. So you can do the same thing with the input action, and you can actually even have maybe even more control. But I kind of like this idea because then you just have the code for the input map, and then I can show you how to do the same thing with kind of like an input asset as well. You don't have to have the input asset to do the same thing, but it can be useful to get sort of the code for that. So without further ado, let me show you what I did. So first to navigate it to Game Creator, which would be Game Creator 2, packages, core, runtime, input system, and then usage. And then what I did is I actually made a copy of the input jump button and then rename it. So for this example, I'm just gonna do this one. So instead of being button jump, I'm just gonna call it sprint. All right. And it's not gonna work the way it is right now because, well, the name of this doesn't quite match the name of the namespace, or yeah, or the class, sorry. So I need to open up the file once this is done here. All right, so sprint. So all I need to do here is I'm gonna change all of the references to jump, from jump to sprint, and then category, usage, sprint. So across device support for the common button of sprint, because those are pretty common buttons anyway. Again, I'm gonna leave the jump icon intact. I'm sure this can be changed. I haven't figured out how yet, but the icon jump is probably gonna be some of the icons that you can get within the game creator. All right, so once I have that, I do need to change the class so that it matches the name that I gave it, and that would be sprint. All right, and then in here, I don't think there's anything else that's, oh yeah, here, the, I'm gonna call it sprint, and that's the actual name of the input action, at least on the map that I'm creating here, because this is basically creating that map here. And in here, instead of being button south, let's say that sprint is the triangle button for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be the triangle, like it can be whatever button you want. And then for uh, whoops, sorry about that. And yeah, so for the keyboard, it can be left shift. And just so that we know what the button is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over to like the input map, and I'm gonna change this crouch here just quickly to be the shift so that I know what the actual button is. So I'm just gonna copy that, but I'm gonna revert back this to just the control. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the code here, and I'm just gonna paste what I copied over, and it looks the same. So I'm gonna save this. So when I go back to Unity, is going to compile my script, and this time it actually should be successful. Yeah, look, there's no errors anymore. So it's all good. Now to use it, and again, you can see here that I don't have sprint button in here. That's because I don't actually use this. This is just kind of like for testing. And I am going to add here, I'm going to change this input usage from crouch to sprint. I am going to remove this condition. I'm going to remove this action or instruction. I'm just going to add a debug log entry. So where's the log text? And I am sprinting. Okay, and then if I click on play, now if I click on, you can see the console here. If I click on shift, it's gonna add an entry. Let me just not collapse it. All right, let me clear that. I'm gonna grab my PlayStation 4 controller. I'm gonna press triangle on it, and actually it's not doing anything with it. So maybe the button shouldn't be north. Oh wait, no, the focus is not there. There you go. Now it's working. So yeah, so it's the easiest way that you can add extra usage buttons. I actually like that idea of adding specific usage buttons for common things that you want to accomplish in code. The other way that you can do it is you can actually just create a custom map like this, and you can actually have a little bit more control with a UI for this. And let's say that I go back to that crouch. And instead of selecting the custom action there, I just go to input system and then dragging the map, and then I can have kind of like the crouch. Like I said, I didn't create a sprint on this map, so I don't have the option there. And now that I have the crouch, if I go in, I'm just gonna add more stuff to it. And the crouch on my map is actually left control, which, yeah, it is adding events here. And then it is circle on my what is this called, PlayStation 4 controller. So those are the two ways. I think for myself, I'm gonna create usage icons just because it looks cleaner, and I don't have to drag and drop an input asset everywhere where I go. I just select the button that I believe is appropriate. You don't have to call them by a specific action either. You can actually give each button a name if you so desire. I don't know why would you want to do that. But yeah, this is actually a great way to add more stuff, and I'm sure that once Marty gets started with melee and shooter, there's going to be a lot more of those input buttons with custom names for different actions. So yeah, I'm loving GC2. You guys let me know what you think. Have a good day.